Are well underway for the inauguration of the president on Wednesday. Let's take you live now to Ziniko Mhlaba. He's at the Union Buildings for us. Ziniko, it's great to see you on this public holiday. And I imagine for something like an inauguration, Ziniko, there are so many safety precautions for one that need to be undertaken. What's preparation looking like where you are?
Well, Michelle, that's very correct. In terms of preparing for one of the biggest days in the country's democracy is the inauguration of President Ramaphosa. Remember that at the end of every administration, there must be this particular ceremony which signals the official end of the sixth administration in this case, and of course, the marshalling in, the official start of the seventh administration. So here at the Union Buildings, we will be giving the viewers some insights on the work that's being done currently behind the scenes just to prepare for the Wednesday big day here in South Africa. Just one of the few things which will be very, very important on Wednesday. This is where the president will be, signing and, of course, committing himself to respecting and upholding the country's constitution. Can see the stage is being set there with that, huge equipment. All those equipment are setting up everything that's necessary to make sure that the stage is safe and set. Officials from government, from the defense and also from the presidency and also here the Union Buildings have arrived, also trying to do their best in terms of making sure that they prepare for Wednesday. I can tell you the biggest element of today's preparation is the preparation by the South African National Defense. You know that in terms of the official ceremonies, SANDF will be responsible for preparing, for setting up and all those precious moments such as the Guard of Honor, which will be coming from that direction and making its way to where we are just at the main entrance. And of course, when they get here, they'll be able to face the stage and salute to the president. And of course, we're trying to gather now to walk away from where we are so that we bring in the official from South African National Defense Force who's going to be explaining to us everything that will be done. And of course, that's Brigadier General Mbi, who I will be talking to at this point. General, thank you very much for your time. Very, very important day coming up on Wednesday for the National Defense Force. Just maybe initially give us the overview of the responsibility of SANDF on such occasions, just generally firstly.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate the opportunity. Yes, of course, the National Defense Force, as part of the national sources of power, as we are also engaged with other departments in preparations for the inauguration to usher the new administration, the seventh administration. Therefore, you will see different elements which are pledged by the National Defense Force to be part of this, and I will take you through which part of those elements, but I can safely say all the arms of services of the National Defense Force, starting from the SA Army, the SA Air Force, the SA Navy, as well as the South African Military Health Service. We are all part of this occasion to make sure that all of us, we are playing different roles.
Talking about marshalling in the new administration, talk to us about the role of the parade, which will be, parading where we are right now, which is at the entrance facing the president. How significant is that, and what does it mean to the president, but also to the country itself?
Well, as National Defense Force being one of the national sources of power, and this is the highest honor you can give to the head of state, and also to assure the nation that part of us being the national sources of power as our secondary task as the Defense Force to support the president in other ceremonial taskings. So therefore you will see that the bringing in also the street lining formed by the different arms of services, the escort to bring in the current Chief Justice, as well as the current Deputy President of the Republic and the President-elect. Then, of course, you will see that in other backgrounds, the National Ceremonial Guard, which will be presenting the National Salute together with the National Ceremonial Guard Band, as well as the 21-gun salute, which will be ushered by the 4th Artillery Regiment in a close proximity. But of course, you will also see at the union buildings, there is also a band which will be part of the arts and culture to entertain the guests as well.
All right, so how far are we now with the preparations? We are expecting this ceremony to take place under 48 hours. So how far are you with your preparations for all these elements that you will be talking about, but also the security feature as well, which I know might not directly be your responsibility. So in terms of that, how are we doing?
Well, one should also just give a bit of background. There's a ceremonial task team that has conducted work streams to prepare for this inauguration, which started in October 2023 under the direction of Major General Mkhize, who is currently the Chief Director, Human Resource Development.
Let's just pause there, Brigadier, so that the Air Force choppers can be able to pass, so that we've got a clear audio. So, Michelle, those are Air Force choppers just passing over us here at the Union buildings. Of course, it's part of the training and rehearsals for things that will be happening on Wednesday. So, as we just saw, those 4 choppers flying over us. Unfortunately, we had to just pause for a moment there so that we give them an opportunity and also ensure that we've got the perfect audio as we're conversing with General. So, General, what's your message to the South Africans? What's your message to the President himself, whom you have been saying you have to protect him, you have to make sure that you support him? So what will be your message to him directly, but also to us as civilians of South Africa?
Well, no, it's not necessarily the message for myself, but I think this is an assurance as a nation that we know that the democracy is working in South Africa. And part of us as soldiers, we will ensure that our democracy is protected at all costs. And I can assure that we are still undergoing recruitment so that we recruit the young South Africans to be part of the National Defence Force to ensure that in future this country remains protected as mandated by the Constitution, which demands of us to defend and protect the sovereignty of the Republic and its people.
Thank you very much, Brigadier.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's Brigadier General Lindambi, just giving us a sense of how the South African National Defence is gearing up for Wednesday. Just giving us insights on some of the key moments we'll be experiencing on Wednesday when the South African President-elect Cyril Ramaphosa will be officially take over as the 7th administration of this country. So we'll try to move to the water club effort now so that we speak to those that will be doing the job up there on air. I'm talking about the Air Force of South Africa and the role they'll be playing. We'll try to speak some pilots there. So that's the latest from us here at the Union Buildings, Michelle.